You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. Hey, you know that myth? I think it's a myth. I've read the story. Let's not get caught up in whether this is actually a myth or reality, but it's where the little bird in the nest, the baby bird in the nest, doesn't want to fly, and so the mama bird pushes the baby bird out of the nest to force it to use its wings. Otherwise, the little baby bird would just sit up in the nest its whole life, waiting for the mama bird to bring it worms and all that good stuff. I looked it up and heard that may just be a myth and it might not actually be how it goes, but that's not the point. Stick with me here. I think we're going to see a week from Saturday, LSU and Brian Kelly, the mama bird, push their freshman cornerbacks, the baby birds, out of the nest. When Brian Kelly was on the SEC Coaches Teleconference on Wednesday, he was asked if Zy Alexander's injury was season-ending. Here's what BK had to say.
Yeah, we're still, in an evaluation process on Zy right now. It's going to cause him to miss time, and we'll have a better indication of that over the next couple of weeks.
We'll have a better indication over the next couple of weeks. Translation, don't expect to see Zy Alexander against Alabama. Up in the air if we see him the rest of the season. That sucks. It's not ideal. While Zy Alexander hasn't played at an All-American or even All-Conference level, he's been your best guy in a bad position group. You lose your best guy in a bad group, that's not good. So Zy Alexander, likely going to miss Bama. Denver Harris, Deuce Chestnut. Brian Kelly was asked for an update on those guys. Here's what he said.
There's, internal things that need to be accomplished that I really can't discuss. And, they're not with us right now. So I prefer to just talk about guys that are with us.
Ooh. Doesn't sound like either one of those guys are going to be available as well. For what it's worth, and everyone always keeps asking about Denver Harris, it's the thing that I've told you since fall camp that a lot of you just didn't want to hear. He's gotten outplayed. Very good athlete, was a 5-star and all that stuff. He's not a very good cornerback right now. It's what it is. Not playing, not with the team. Same thing with Deuce Chestnut. And then remember there was one more transfer this year. That was J.K. Johnson, who got hurt in fall camp, and he's done for the year. So if you're scoring at home, the 4 veteran cornerbacks that you brought in this year to steady that position group after Mekhi Gardner and Jark Bernard-Converse and those guys, Cody Dickerson, Colby Richardson, all left after last year. None of those guys are likely to be available for you against Alabama. Not ideal. But maybe, just maybe, this is the opportunity for some of those young birds to get pushed out of the nest to see if they can fly. I mean, we saw Elias Ricks start as a true freshman in 2020. I get it. He was a 5-star, the number 1 corner in the country, and Elias Ricks was a great player when he was healthy. Battled some injuries, transferred. I understand all that happened there, but the kid went undrafted and made the Eagles, which is the best team in the NFC, maybe the best team in the NFL right now. He had to go out there and play great as a freshman. Derek Stingley, I get it, another 5-star, but he went out there and started as a true freshman on the greatest college football team ever. Greedy Williams. Greedy Williams redshirted in 2016. Like, who redshirts at LSU? I mean, typically, if you're a 4 or 5-star guy, you're going to play in some capacity because chances are you ain't staying 5 years, especially back then. Greedy redshirted in 2016. 2017, you have an injury. Christian Fulton suspended. You play the opener against BYU in the Dome in the game that was supposed to be in Houston. They got moved because of Hurricane Harvey, and boom, Greedy has a pick, becomes an All-American. They just pushed him out of the nest. He had to go play. Played great. Go back to 2013. Y'all remember Rashard Robinson? Rashard Robinson was as big as my pinky. Maybe as big as this blue pen. Dude weighed like $150. 6'3", like 160 was about what Rashard Robinson was. Didn't play at all in fall camp. Clearinghouse issues. finally gets eligible the week LSU opened up against TCU, and he's out there making plays. He ended up starting in Tiger Stadium that year as a true freshman against Texas A&M. That was reigning Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel and Texas A&M. And Rashard Robinson locked up Mike Evans that whole day, held him to 4 catches for 51 yards. Sometimes you just got to push the baby bird out of the nest and see if they can fly. Listen, I get it. If they were better, they'd be playing. The secondary hasn't been good. And to be clear, one of your starting corners is going to be Sage Ryan, who, according to Pro Football Focus, is actually your highest graded corner this year. Speaks volumes about this cornerback class. I get it, but Sage is going to be one of those guys. Maybe it's time for LaTerrence Welch. Maybe it's any one of these young guys. Maybe it's Jeremiah Hughes, who we got to see play last week, or Ryan Robinson, who played last week. They moved Javen Toviano, Brian Kelly said, to corner. Remember, Toviano was here in the spring and played boundary corner, nickel. He played nickelback. He played dime. He played safety, free. So he played everywhere. But he's had reps out there. Like, sometimes when the lights come on is when the lights come on for some guys. Some dudes are just better in a game than they are at practice, and maybe that's the reality for these guys. That's what I hope is the reality for some of these guys. It's wishful thinking. Would I prefer to have just a line of 5 stars ready to go, a line of Elias Rickses and Derek Stingleys and Tre'Davious Whites just ready to go lock down, Isaiah Bond? Yeah, of course I'd rather that. That ain't the reality. So somebody is going to get their opportunity a week from Saturday, and I'm actually kind of excited to see it, because if you are recruited out of high school to LSU to play cornerback, you are a good athlete. Period, paragraph. They saw something in you that warranted giving you a scholarship to LSU. Now go earn it. Let that little bird fly. We got to see if that's actually right. I don't think the mama bird pushes the birds out of the nest. I think that's a myth. But sometimes I actually read today that sometimes the little birds, like the little eaglets, get actually really anxious. Like they want to go test their wings. They're not ready yet. They got to be held back into the nest. But you understand for the point of the analogy today. Push them birds out of the nest. Let's go see if they can fly a week from Saturday in Tuscaloosa. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.